Okay, so I wanted to give you some information about using images. So Bootstrap doesn't have any images built in, so we have to use our own images. And you'll notice here that when we added the media heading in the previous video, we've got this placement image icon and it's ready for us to put an image inside. So let's first of all introduce you to cards. So you can see here cards are these small elements here which has an image of something, and we can click on it and go to that particular thing. So that might be a product, it might be a feature of your website. So I've gone to components and then card in the Bootstrap documentation, and I'm just going to select, this is at the top here, I'm going to select this first option, copy this code which represents this, and I'm just going to get rid of, if I go back into my code at the bottom, I'm going to get rid of this media element, making sure I don't delete this last div, which is the container, and then just tab that across. So now I've got a card, so we can see what it looks like, and you can see that there's an image here. So let's have a look at some of the facilities that we can use to add an image. Of course, the first thing we can do is build our own image. Probably not the most, probably something that you might want to do. Sorry, I was contemplating how to present that. Of course, you can use your own images. Maybe you already have images ready for your design. If you are developing a prototype design or building a website, you may have your own images. I'm repeating myself now. So the second thing you can do if you don't have your images, we could use a placement image. So if I go onto Google and type in placement images, what we can do is find this, for example, this website here, and there are many other websites like this that allows us to link into their service, and it provides us an image. So let's just use this one first. How this works is that we use a code like this. This links to their service, and it provides us then an image that looks like this. Now, when we're prototyping or initially building a website, we might want to use these placement images like this. So let's just copy this. So this represents the size of the image. So this is going to provide us with a square image of 150 pixels by 150 pixels. You can see that we can change and add more information to the URL, like this, for example. So we can actually change the dimensions, and we can also define what type of image we want, whether it be a PNG or a JPEG, and so on. So there's lots of things here what we can do. We can style the background color. So you could read through this and utilize this in more detail if you wanted to, but let's just get a basic image here. So this is our media sorry, this is our card code. So it's class code, style width 18 rem, and we've got image. So there's some dots here. So that represents where your link to your image should be. So I'm just going to paste that information in. It adds some information to it. I just need to remove that. So now I've just got HTTPS via.placeholder.com 150. So that's going to be the size of my image. Now, if I were to show you that, what it looks like, there we go. There's our placeholder. And there we go. So we've got a 150 by 150 image, and that's a simple placeholder. So that can be useful. There are other services, like I said. So for example, there's a service I'm thinking of, which allows you to use random images. Here we can use random images of kittens, for example. Let me try to remember the name. in. Nope. Okay, I'll try this one. Okay, so here you can see that this allows us to generate images. So if I go for architecture, there we go. So that image now represents this link. So I can just copy and paste this link right here. Make sure you don't delete the quotes either side. And then there we go. So there's plenty of other services like this. It's up to you what you choose, whether you choose an image or not. Let's just work out how we're going to do or put an image in here if we're not going to use one of these services. Say we had our own image. So if I just save this image as a JPEG, you remember we've got our website folder on the desktop called website. So I'm just going to rename that as image 1. I'm going to save that into that folder. So on my desktop, I now have in my website folder index and an image called image 1, which is a JFIF file. It's not very nice. So let's go back here. So if I wanted to use that image, I would need to, which I don't think is going to work, just type in image 1 dot JFIF and then go back to my website, refresh the page, and you can see it works. Okay, so if you do have your own images, you now also can see how you're going to link your own image onto the page. Now, of course, you don't want to put your images right here. For managing images, really, you want to create a new folder, maybe call it media, and you want to put your images inside of there. Otherwise, this folder is going to get really messy really quickly. So a bit of organization always helps. Maybe in media, you might want a folder called image, because there's other types of media you might want to include on your page. But of course, now this isn't going to work. So what you need to do is update your code and tell the link where to find your image. So we've made a new folder called media. And inside of that is a image called img1 GIF. And that's this image right here. So now we've done that, we should now be able to refresh our page and we have an image. So that's kind of a brief introduction into utilizing images in the Bootstrap code, either by using placeholders or using your own images to place in the page.